At the beginning of the movie, we are taken to the Orbit 9 spaceship. Despite its large size, the corridors, deckhouse and cabins look empty. Children's drawings are hung on one of the walls. The only inhabitant of the ship, Helena, wakes up and goes to the simulators to keep herself in shape. After the exercise, the heroine goes to the computers and checks the oxygen level. Some devices that have recently malfunctioned are responsible for its production. At breakfast, Helena communicates with the onboard computer and learns that in 17 hours the shuttle Hassel will arrive. It will fly an engineer who can fix one of the life support systems. In her entire life, Helena has not seen a single person except for her parents, as she has a very important mission to accomplish. On her ship, the heroine must reach the planet Celeste, and the 20-year-old girl has approximately 19 more years to fly. After breakfast, Helena watches a video message from her parents. Crying, they ask her to hold out until the engineer arrives. Helena wakes up the next day and follows her weekly physical examination. After it, the heroine decides to watch an old black and white movie. Helena then proceeds to her training session as usual. Suddenly she is interrupted by a red light and beeps. The onboard computer reports that the docking with the engineer's ship was successful. Helena watches in shock as a man in a spacesuit appears in the corridor. Álex greets the heroine and informs her that he has about 50 hours to fix it. During the work, Helena tells him that she was left alone on the ship 3 years ago. Her parents abandoned the heroine for her survival. Helena is very taken with Alex's presence and reluctantly leaves so as not to interfere with the repairs. The heroine invites the engineer to dinner. At the table, Helena tells him that she is not very impressed that she will reach Celeste at the age of 40. However, the heroine is willing to do so, as her parents were colonists and sacrificed themselves for the mission. Upon waking up the next day, Helena discovers that the ship's backup oxygen supply has shut down. The heroine goes to Álex and thanks him for his quick work. The guy informs her that he will check everything again tomorrow. If there are no malfunctions, he will be able to fly away. Helena goes to training and then looks into the engineer's room. In the evening, Álex informs the heroine that he will not be able to have dinner with her, as he needs to get some sleep before his flight. Upset, Helena sits at the table alone. During the night, the heroine decides to do something strange. Helena sneaks into the engineer's room. When Álex wakes up, the heroine admits that she has never kissed anyone, but would like to correct this. Helena leans into the guy, after which they play night games. Álex wakes up and slips away from the heroine. The guy puts on a special suit and checks all the equipment one more time. Helena does wake up and sees Álex getting ready to leave. The guy apologizes once again for what happened during the night and calls it a mistake. A distraught Helena sees on the screen the signal to undock the engineer's ship. Meanwhile, Álex leaves the spaceship, but finds himself not on his ship, but in a strange corridor. The guy takes off his spacesuit and uses his pass to open the door. With the help of an elevator, Álex rises from the bunker and finds himself on Earth. The guy rambles through the forest, fenced off from outsiders, special wire. Álex gets to the edge of the territory and packs the spacesuit and the rest of the suit into the car. Then the guy gets behind the wheel and goes to the main control headquarters of the Orbit program. Putting on a special robe, Álex walks through the corridors and rooms where videos from all Orbit models, from the 1st to the 10th, are broadcast. The guy talks to his boss Hugo and admits that he feels sorry for the passengers who have been victimized by the experiment. The man is angry with Álex and declares that the lives of 8 billion people are much more important. The passengers will give data for the real flights to Celeste, which will be possible only in 15 years. Upset by what happened in Orbit, Álex goes home. The room is quite dirty, as the guy eats cooked food and almost never cleans up. Álex makes himself dinner and eats it thoughtfully. At this time, Helena is watching a movie about the sea, which she will never see. Almost all the time the heroine feels depressed. Álex also suffers, because of which he communicates less with colleagues at work and drinks. The guy accidentally finds a recording on his robot assistant, where Helena says that she does not want to be alone on the ship again. The next day, Álex goes to headquarters again. Guy wants to infiltrate Helena, but changes his mind at the last moment. Álex returns to the city and goes to his therapist in the evening. For anonymity and no unnecessary contact, the guy sees a wolf's head on the screen. Sylvia questions the guy about the reasons for his depression. Álex tells her that the Orbit program is actually not as harmless as most people think. Scientists are literally raising children in simulators, making those children think they are on an important mission in space. Álex feels that it is unfair to treat people in this way. Therefore, the next day the hero goes to Orbit 9. Helena hears strange sounds and doesn't understand why something like docking is happening. Seeing Álex in the corridor without a spacesuit, the heroine cannot understand what is happening. The guy tries to explain that Helena is not actually in space as she used to believe. The heroine does not believe that she lives in a simulation and asks Álex to return to his ship and not to scare her. To prove the truth, the guy pulls out of the whole cameras that have been watching Helena all the time. Álex also removes a biochip from the heroine's wrist. Then the guy hacks into the onboard computer so that it shows the data of Helena's medical examination while she is not there. After that, Álex takes the frightened heroine by the hand and offers to go to the surface with him. Together with the guy, Helena goes up in the elevator and sees the sun for the first time in her life. The heroine is disoriented and therefore blindly follows Álex, looking at the surrounding world. The guy hides Helena in the trunk, after which he leaves the territory of the complex. Fortunately, he manages to do this without any problems. Álex reaches a secluded place and helps the heroine out. The guy tells her that the decision to put her in the simulator was made before she was born. Her parents are scientists who will immediately turn her over to Orbit if they find out about her escape. Álex urges the heroine not to try to contact them. Helena cries, realizing that now she doesn't even have a family. Afterward, Álex brings the heroine into his home and begins to clean up. Helena meanwhile looks at the guy's things with interest. At night, the heroine hears a strange noise, and Álex explains to her that it is thunder. Helena goes out on the balcony and enjoys the rain for the first time in her life. Álex joins the heroine and kisses her. Morning comes. Waking up in the morning, the heroine finds a note from Álex. The guy informs her that he left for a meeting and will be back in 2 hours. Throughout the house, Helena also finds notes with explanations of what she can and should do. The main rule is not to leave the house so as not to attract unnecessary attention. Álex, meanwhile, sees a psychiatrist and talks about the kidnapping of the heroine. Sylvia worries about the guy, realizing that he has committed a very dangerous act. After the session, the woman catches up with Álex, even though they are supposed not to see each other. Sylvia gives the guy her phone number and the address of the apartment where she lives. The woman is not indifferent to the fate of Álex and the heroine, so in case of danger, she offers them to settle with her. Sylvia asks not to talk about it in the office, as their conversation may be recorded there. Álex thanks the woman for the offer and returns to the apartment. The guy decides to take a walk together with Helena to show her the world. To begin with, Álex brings the heroine to his favorite place, the workshop of old mechanisms. Then the guy goes with Helena to the oceanarium. The heroine enjoys watching the fish and is happy with them. After Álex decides to have dinner, the guy leads Helena to a Chinese restaurant where she first tries to eat with chopsticks. After an intense walk, the couple returns home and goes to bed. The next day, Helena finds a locked door to the lower level. Álex shows the heroine the room where his computers are located. With their help, the guy simulates Helena's being in the simulator. The heroine learns that when the flight of the other passengers supposedly ends, the onboard computer will report that they are off course, and people will be in the simulator until old age. In the evening, Helena meets the guy's friends, and learns that they are not excited about the prospect of relocating to Celeste. Álex finds strange spots on the heroine's back and offers to take her to his friend Chow. The man examines Helena and says it's a reaction to the sun, as if it's the first time the girl has been exposed to it. Álex jokes that the heroine works at Orbit as a programmer and hardly ever goes outside. The next day, the guy and Hugo go to a business meeting. During this time, Helena finds the Orbit's passenger files. The heroine learns that she is a universal clone like the others. Helena also discovers in the folder data about her parents. Despite Alex's inhibitions, the heroine decides to go to them. Her father remains true to his ideas and therefore chains Helena in order to return her to the simulation. However, the heroine's mother frees her and helps her escape. Álex decides to take refuge with Sylvia and apologizes to Helena for not telling the truth. Hugo learns that the heroine is missing. The man talks to Katrina, the project manager. She believes that Álex and the heroine must be caught. Meanwhile, Sylvia informs the guy that she will be able to give the keys to the apartment after work. The fugitives manage to get to a safe place, Sylvia's office. However, Hugo and his men search Alex's apartment, and then shows up at Sylvia's. The heroes manage to trick the man. Álex and the heroine freeze to make their holograms look like simple pictures. However, Hugo notices the movement and destroys Sylvia. The chase begins. Álex and the heroine try to get away from the pursuers by running across the roofs of buildings. Hugo's men follow them. Helena is caught when she fails to jump from one roof to another. Álex, on the other hand, secretly sees Chow and learns that the heroine will not be able to live on the surface of the earth because of a skin mutation. The guy tries to talk to Hugo on the phone, but he hangs up. The man realizes that Helena must be eliminated. Meanwhile, Álex sneaks into the base, bypassing the guards. The guy offers Hugo a deal. Álex and the heroine will voluntarily live in the isolation center. Helena is pregnant and will be able to give birth to a child there, which will be interesting for Hugo's research. In return, the man undertakes to release their child to the surface. After many years, an aged Hugo keeps his promise. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like, write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.